What's up, guys? It's C-Jax back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about how DC has officially found their new Superman. David Corenswet will be the new Superman of the DCU. He will be playing Clark Kent / Superman, and Rachel Brosnahan will be playing Lois Lane for the new DCU universe, and they're both obviously going to be in Superman Legacy, the movie coming up. So yeah, man, I just wanted to quickly acknowledge that, but really this video for me, I wanted to talk about and reflect on the time that we had with Henry Cavill's iteration of Superman, because I grew up with Henry Cavill. I love his character. I love him as an actor. I thought his Superman was absolutely awesome, and so I wanted to, reflect on the memories and the great times that Henry Cavill has had as a character, from what I've seen in the movies, obviously how I interpret it, but yeah, just wanted to talk about and reflect on Henry Cavill, so let's go ahead and get into that, man. Now, when I first saw Man of Steel, I honestly didn't even see this in theaters, but I did see it about a year or two later when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and when I first saw this movie, I just honestly enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun seeing Superman do the action scenes and seeing how Henry Cavill was playing the character. All that stuff was good, because when you're young, you're a big fan of the superheroes. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, there's Spider-Man, there's this person, that person. You're a superhero fan, if you're into that stuff at least, and I was, right? But I wasn't into it deeply, and I didn't really understand the deeper storytelling or anything going on with these characters. However, when I rewatched the movie years down the line in about 2018 or 19, when I was like 14 years old, I started to realize the deeper lessons and themes coming from this movie. And even when I saw it for the first time when I was younger, the themes in Man of Steel of Henry Cavill's Superman, really what he's doing for the story is he's figuring out who he is, and he's figuring out what he can be as the symbol of hope. And seeing him trying to find his place in the world and trying to find out who he is personally is a very powerful message. And seeing him deal with real world issues like people casting him out, people being rude towards him, people not believing in him and not wanting to even associate with him because they think he's some alien and some weirdo. Those are real life lessons and real, messages that I feel like a lot of people can relate to. And I kind of related to those as I was seeing that movie, and that's what kind of drew me closer to Henry Cavill's Superman. And then following that up with BVS, a lot of people, didn't like this movie. I understand that, but for me personally, Henry Cavill's Superman in that movie was really good, because sometimes at the end of the movie, he sacrifices himself, right? And it really just shows me sometimes in order to understand the true value of something, you have to lose it first. And now we're seeing in real life, Henry Cavill's Superman is gone, and many fans, including myself, are sad about the fact that he's gone. We're disappointed, especially when you think about the fact that Henry Cavill's Superman was literally back. A Man of Steel 2 was announced, everything was looking up, and then he literally announced he was back, and then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, he has to put out a message saying that he's not returning as Superman. And so this whole situation with Henry Cavill's Superman is really just a reminder that you really have to take everything good that happens in your life, and in the bad too, and you really have to just take it for what it is, man. You have to enjoy everything to the fullest and really appreciate what you have while you have it. Now that Henry Cavill's gone, I would have never expected this 10 years ago. Obviously, at some point it's going to get recasted by a younger actor, but I wouldn't expect it to happen the way that it did, and with everything going on with Warner Bros. And it's very, very sad, and it hurts me that Henry Cavill is not coming back as Superman. But part of the new DCU is going to be letting go. Even the Flash movie, which obviously came out a couple weeks ago, I absolutely loved it. But the theme of that movie was really letting go and walking into the future. And I feel like this new DCU is going to be that for a lot of DCEU fans, like hardcore fans like I was. We're going to have to let go of what was and walk into what is. And so obviously that's going to be a huge transition. I mean, I've been grappling with the fact that Henry Cavill Superman's been gone for, a couple months now, like since he announced that he was done. I remember the day that I went to school after Henry Cavill Superman was, announcing that he was done as Superman, like at the end of 2022, I was done, man. My friends will tell you, I was walking through school that day, I was so done out, bro. I was just like, man, come on, like, can I get through this class? I was just so disappointed. I was defeated. But part of that, what the things that happen in life, you have to really enjoy those great moments for what they are, like I said, and you really have to sink it in as much as you can. Because like I said with BVS, you're never going to realize the true value of something until it's not there. And Henry Cavill is one of my favorite live action portrayals of a character with Superman and what he did. I think as an actor, he's made a lot of great movies. And I think he actually is just extremely talented in comparison to a lot of other actors that you see in Hollywood. And he really poured his life into this role. He gave so much, and he cared so much about DC and the lore of Superman and everything. And he loved his fans. He loved the people he was working with. He was just so joyful and happy to be playing a character that is joyful and happy. Even though people will look down on his iteration for, not being as hopeful or as joyful or happy-go-lucky and this and that, Henry Cavill Superman was making its way up until that point. And when we see him in Black Adam, and he's got the classic curl and the suit's vibrant, and the John Williams theme is playing, like what direction he was heading down, because it felt earned after his 3-movie arc with Man of Steel, BVS, and the Snyder Cut. It was just absolutely beautiful, and to see a guy who really loved the character succeed with the character was just awesome to watch. I always like to see good people and good actors succeed in the space, and I can't even imagine what Henry Cavill is thinking right now after Warner Bros. Absolutely wronged him and really took away something that was so important to him and so important to so many people, and they just took it from him, man. And people aren't really focusing on that, but I really hope that Henry Cavill can get through this, bro, because if I was him, I would be heartbroken right now, man. I'm sad as a fan, so can't only imagine what he's going through. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here, man, and really talk about Henry Cavill's Superman and what he's meant to me. And he's kind of always been a symbol of hope and a symbol of truth. And Henry Cavill as a human being, along with the character, felt like it was all just, he really, really felt like hope to me. When I watch those movies and I watch Henry Cavill's interviews and just learn about more of who he is, he just inspires hopefulness. And he's really just that kind of guy. And his Superman really felt like that to me. He may not have felt like that to everybody else, but that's the way that he made me feel. And I will always remember the messages and the lessons that are learned throughout those movies. And, it's important. Those movies always remind us it doesn't matter if you need to fit in or not. You always need to be yourself and stick to that and be the best self that you can possibly be. And that's what those movies mean to me. And that's what they will continue to mean to me, no matter what happens down the line. If he comes back, if he doesn't matter to me, bro. Those movies have a special place in my heart, and I will always remember the special lessons and always be hopeful and inspired by his performance and by his portrayal of the character. And so overall, I'm just very grateful and thankful to have grown up and been able to experience Henry Cavill's portrayal of Superman in theaters and on my couch multiple times, and I will continue to do it multiple times. But yes, again, thank you to DC, thank you to Zack Snyder, and thank you to Warner Bros., even though they've been an absolute failure over the last decade. Thank you for giving us Henry Cavill as Superman, and obviously Henry Cavill yourself, or himself, if he's even watched this video, probably not. Thank you for everything that you brought to the role, the joy, the care, and obviously the inspiration and the hopefulness that you will continue to give us with your portrayal of Superman on rewatch, and what you will continue to give us in the future. He will always be my Superman today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you, and your greatness as the character will never be forgotten.